Hello, it's Fat Penguin 96 here with, after an extremely long time, a league race highlights video. Here from Xcite Racing League with the Formula Gulf 1000 on Project Cars, and I thought I'd just show you in the background this qualifying lap where I'm on cold tyres. You can see understeering like a biatch. Just while I explain what my plans on YouTube are and what are we doing league race wise, and here is one of the leagues I'll be competing in, is the Formula Gulf League. In this league there are no setups allowed whatsoever, just I think it's so that everyone can have an equal playing field. No one has an advantage with an OP setup, and no one can complain about not being able to set the car up properly, which is pretty annoying because the setup on this car is pretty shit, to be honest. A lot of on throttle understeer, the brake bias is way too far forward, but it's kind of a good way just as a secondary league. Don't have to spend much time on setups, seeing as I also race in Split 1 in GT3s, so in XRL, so I was thinking of in the future uploading some of those highlights videos as well. So stay tuned for those. But anyway, we'll be kicking off qualifying now for round 1 at Oulton Park, season 2 in the Formula Gulf here. So we come across the line, and we are now starting our qualifying lap. Turn 1, 4th gear, easing the car and getting on throttle about the start of the apex. Nicely done, very easy to go wide there. Again, 4th gear, dab of the brakes, just like turn 1, turn it in on the power, but on the power a bit too early. Gone wide. That actually loses your time going wide like that. Just going over the curbs and having to turn the wheel for a bit longer. Easing the car through this left-hander before braking nice and late into this corner. Down to 2nd, hugging the inside, going a bit deep. Getting on the power nicely, carrying a good amount of speed through the corner, so it wasn't too bad. But coming into a very tricky chicane here. Nice left to right, down to 2nd. Getting on the power nice and easy on the exit there. Just kissing the exit curb there, which causes a bit of wheel spin. But now braking nice and late, down to 2nd again. Carrying a good amount of speed, keeping it nice and tight, pushing the car in nice and early to this right-hander, and then I absolutely smacked the throttle on. And that was that on throttle understeer that I was on about earlier before. You really want to ease onto the throttle. And here comes another mistake, just downshifting to 4th too early and missing my apex, and then going wide. And that actually cost me the 2 mistakes right there, about 0.4 of a second on this qualifying, as I'll show you later. Going a bit too deep but carrying a good amount of speed, similar to the hairpin corner, and racing off to the line now to get a 32.493, I believe. Anyway, this is an example of a previous lap where another lap where I didn't quite beat my PB for this session. But as you'll see, just nailing it through this corner, and keep a track of the delta on the top right in that box there, because when you started this clip I was 0.4 down, and it will go green just for a split second there, and that means I've gained back all 0.4 in that section, so I could have got a 0.0, but as you can see, just 66 thousandths of a second ahead of my teammate Samps WRF's in 2nd, and well, that's qualifying over, but I'm not feeling very confident at this start as greens come on and taking way too long to set off. I've always struggled, as Sam is way ahead, but I get a very good drive on the 2nd stage of the start, holding it around the outside. Don't know where Sam is, going a bit wide to make sure he's not there. He's nowhere near around, I can see in the mirrors, and I can tell you right now that Sam actually had a bit of an incident with a car and dropped down to 9th place at this point, so my teammate is down in 9th place. But I'm having to pay attention to my own race up here. A bit of pressure, as the slipstream is massive around here. It can gain you about 4-5 tenths in a lap. The slipstream is pretty much insane. But I saw 2nd place having a little sniff of the inside, but I was confident on the brakes there. The tyres and taking a bit too much curb, and yeah, having to correct some oversteer there. But at this point in the lap, the tyres really don't feel that good. It takes about 3/4 of a lap before they feel like they're up to temperature and the car will handle how you expect it to. as I turned a bit too early there, getting quite close to the barrier there. As around here it is quite easy really to destroy your car, but thankfully I was able to keep it all together. Just trying to build up that gap to P2 right now, as we're eking out a bit of a gap, as you can see from the bottom left on the screen right now. As we're coming to an end of this lap though, we need to think about building a nice gap to P2, just to get out of the slipstream range. I don't really know how big that is, but it's probably about 1 to 2 seconds, because it gains you a lot of time. So just put in some nice quick laps and consistent laps is what I need to do at this stage of the race. Also because of second and third in qualifying, they both dropped behind, so I need to capitalise on and try and build the biggest gap I can to the other quick guys, as I don't think P2 right now has got the same sort of pace as they have, so it's not as big a threat. So putting in quite a nice lap so far, as the tyres are now up to temperature. Just trying to keep it nice and consistent, try not to make the same mistake last time, taking too much curb. A little bit of oversteer, but kept it all together. Looks like we've been able to build a bit of a bigger gap now to P2, so just trying to continue the lap. Seems to be going quite smoothly so far, and that is basically how you want to take the corner nicely, not exceeding the track limits, not flooring the throttle. And I think P2 did make a mistake, and the gap has increased quite a lot because of that. But coming round now towards the final corner, seems to be pretty smooth. This should be the fastest lap of the race, I think, at this point. Going up quite deep though, but thankfully we were able to get a good exit. And I think that there are 2 people right there in the pits, so it looks like there might have been quite a lot of problems for turn 1 with incidents and people retiring. But I believe at this point my teammate Samster BRFC, he was still going. He had made his way into, I think, about P4 maybe by this point. So it was looking quite good for the team's Constructors Championship, seeing as I'm in P1, and I believe he had the pace for P2. His race pace was quite good when we did a little bit of practice earlier that day, and he was pretty much in my slipstream, just sat there setting pretty much the exact same time as I was setting. So it would have been good if there wasn't that incident, because I think it could have been quite an entertaining and quite a good battle between the 2 of us all the way through. As we lock up a little bit on the front right there, just under rotating it. That's the problem with such a forward brake bias, because it's actually quite annoying. If you push the brakes a little bit too much, it just causes the car to understeer, whereas a rear brake balance, it helps to just rotate the car into the corner when you push the brakes a little bit. But this lap is looking a lot better than the previous laps, so I think this could be a low 33 right now, which is quite good for the amount of fuel we have on board on just lap 3 of the race. So we should be able to keep extending our gap to the rest of the field. As we now cut to a lot further on in the race, as not really much happened in those laps, those 11 laps. But we are on our fastest lap of the race right now. I forgot to mention earlier that the way the points structured in this division is that first place is 25, second is 18, third is 15 place. But you also get awarded an extra bonus point for taking the fastest lap of the race. So I would very much like to extend my gap in the drivers and help get more points in the constructors by getting 26 points, 25 for the race, and then the bonus point. So all the previous laps that I just skipped out, I was taking it kind of easy. There's no point pushing. Just try and keep extending that gap to second, and just keep it from making any mistakes, like going into one of these tricky chicanes and crashing into a barrier like the one on the right there. But when it got to the later stages of the race, when there was less fuel in the car, I thought it was a good idea to push and try and get a quicker lap. I think I have a 0.7, a 32.7 at the moment, but I'm trying to get a quicker lap in, so pushing quite hard, coming into the final corner, and I go again quite deep, but it was actually quite a nice line through there. Kept quite good momentum, and coming across the line, and it is a point, I can't even read that. Good to know that the screen is extremely pixelated and I can't see it. I think it was a 0.6, but I'm not sure. But anyway, cutting to the end of the race, I knew at this point I pretty much had fastest lap in the bag. Round in the final corner with quite a big gap to second place, and crossing the line now to take the round 1 victory. As you can see, all the stats there with the quickest lap and the gaps to second and third by the end of the race. And so Samster came home in third with a nice 15 points. I came home in first with 26 points. So for the driver standings, it looks like this, as you can see. But Samster's points and my points mean that for the constructors we're on 41, ahead of everyone else, with the 2 second places on joint 18 points. Quite a big gap. If you enjoyed that, you can follow me on on Twitter for heads up on when my YouTube videos will be posted. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Project Cars League racing content. If you enjoyed this video, I'd much appreciate a like. As always, thanks for watching.